Ahoy there, mateys. Hello, friends. Greetings from the seven seas, and welcome aboard the VHS pirate ship. And welcome to REEK of the Week, a little segment here on the VHS pirate ship where I explore different aspects of 80s and 90s nostalgia. That's right, it's the show that has the sweet stench of childhood memories and reeks of nostalgia. It's REEK of the Week. And in this installment of REEK of the Week, I'm going to be talking about quite possibly the greatest album known to man, the Transformers the Movie soundtrack. Yes, I'm being 100% serious when I say that, and yes, this album is on my top 5 list of favorite albums of all time. Let's start at the beginning. It's no secret that the Transformers was a major toy line through the 1980s all the way up till now, where they're still cranking out toys, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be till the end of time. And back in the 1980s, the popularity of the Transformers was being stoked beyond belief, to the point where a major motion picture was destined to happen. And it sure did. And Transformers the Movie was released in theaters in August of 1986. So why is there no specific date? Well, this movie had limited releasing for some reason. In fact, this was never released in my hometown. I had to wait for it to be released on VHS to see it. And with its release came the release of the soundtrack. And the music featured therein would not be what anybody was expecting. Why do I say that? Well, it's a movie based on a cartoon show, and therefore what you would expect would be at most the music that was composed for the cartoon show itself. But this soundtrack was not that. This would be comprised of mostly unheard of metal bands and Weird Al Yankovic, not to mention the totally inspirational powerhouse songs of The Touch and Dare by Stan Bush. Now, who the hell is Stan Bush? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But we know now because of this soundtrack. And this soundtrack also features some totally awesome instrumental prog rock pieces by Vince DiCola. And who the hell is Vince DiCola? Nobody knows. Well, we know now because of this soundtrack. And such is the case for the unheard of metal bands that are featured on this soundtrack as well, such as Lion. And no, it's not Dark Lion or Death Lion or Blood Lion. No, it's just plain Lion. Like politicians. Okay, so maybe now is not the time for a Carson-style monologue, but that does remind me of the guy that walked into a bar and sees this giraffe passed out on the floor. He asked the bartender, "Hey, who's that lion there?" Bartender says, "That's not a lion, it's a giraffe." Well, I guess you had to be there. Anyways, this heavy metal band is simply called Lion, and they do an awesome rendition of the Transformers theme song, which is featured in the opening credits of the movie, and it really puts you in an awesome mood. And then there's the band NRG. Just letters. I don't know what they stand for. They could stand for Nectarines Are Good. I don't really care. This band is pretty awesome. Now, I don't know what else they're known for, but I do know that the song that's featured on the soundtrack is pretty fucking awesome. And that song is Instruments of Destruction. You know. Instruments of destruction, tools of foul play. And it could be said that that song is what this soundtrack is best known for. And then there's the band called Spectre General, and they have 2 songs featured on this soundtrack. Yeah, there's Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way and Hunger, both of which are rippers. Now, somewhere along the line, Spectre General thought it would be a good idea to change their name. I'm not sure why. I think it's a fine name. It's pretty open-ended and ambiguous to the point where you could pretty much play any kind of music you wanted to. Okay, so they changed their name. They reserve the right to do that, even though it's a terrible decision, but whatever. So maybe they changed it to something really cool. I really would like to say that they did, and the new name they chose was phenomenal, fantastic, great even. But they changed it to Kick-Axe. Kick-Axe. You know, like kick ass, but with an axe. You know, yeah. So, whatever, man. I mean, it really hurts me to say that, because they went from having a name that makes them sound like a really cool progressive metal band to having a name that makes them sound like a bar band that plays shitty accept covers. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that if you went to go see them, you would end up talking to a drunk 55-year-old woman talking to you about Skid Row.
I saw them in '87 when it really mattered. Hey, I got my grandson's name tattooed on my neck.
And the whole time, she's just checking her Keno numbers and spilling her butt ice all over the place. Yep, the kind of woman you could win in a game of 9-ball. All because Spectre General had to change their name to something fucking stupid. Oh well. And as I mentioned, this soundtrack also features a song by Weird Al Yankovic, Dare to Be Stupid. And during the movie, this song just kind of comes out of nowhere and definitely does not fit in with the rest of the soundtrack, but it's a welcome addition all the same. I suppose that putting a Weird Al song on the soundtrack would be a good way to get this movie recognition, because let's not forget how big of a deal Weird Al was in the 80s, and for all intents and purposes still is. And this song was the title track to his 1985 album.
Yeah, I have this album on vinyl. Thank you very much.
No, I really do. It was a Christmas gift, and an awesome Christmas gift at that. Thank you very much. Yeah, the Transformers the movie soundtrack is just phenomenal. I had this cassette when I was a kid, and I listened to it until the tape broke. Fucking broke! And later down the road, I bought the CD. So this soundtrack means a lot to me, as I'm sure it does to you. And if you're from the same generation that I am, and are a heavy metal fan, then this album is probably one of your first introductions to heavy metal. And even if you're not a heavy metal fan, this album is still a rip-roaring good time. Because really, this is the perfect movie soundtrack. These songs add so much intensity and feeling to the scenes that they're featured in, that if it wasn't for this soundtrack, I'm not sure if this movie would be as good as it is. I mean, come on. That scene when the Decepticons raid the Autobot ship and Instruments of Destruction is playing, oh man, what a good time. Well, not for the Autobots, I guess. Yeah, it's the perfect soundtrack for a movie that was released at the perfect time. It's just great stuff. So what's your favorite song off this soundtrack? Do you like the motivational rush of The Touch? Or do you like the carnal metal of Hunger? Or maybe you like the inspirational message of Dare? Or maybe you want to keep it wacky with Dare to Be Stupid. Or maybe you're some kind of sadist and like the death of Optimus Prime. Or maybe it's one of the other songs featured on this awesome album. Let me know in the comments below. And I'll pick one of you at random to give a shout out to in the next Reek of the Week. So I hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, dare to keep your dreams alive. You can win if you dare. And also remember that you've got the touch. You've got the power. When all hell's breaking loose, you'll be riding the eye of the storm. So be sure to hit subscribe and give a like, and take care out there. And I'll see you next time, only on Captain Adam's VHS Pirate Ship.